Hey kids, comics. Silverhead Bronze Age Babe here, yakking about her comic book collection. And today I am with my good friend Magic Lasso.
You're yakking to me
My
today.
yakking to Magic Lasso. And we are going to yak about Shanna the She-Devil. And this, I know you're falling out of your chairs now because I'm talking about a Marvel comic book, but I am. I know, right? So the reason that Ryan and I are doing this is because we were on the Fanboys last week before. It all runs together,
A
but
couple weeks ago.
couple weeks ago, talking with Gary B, the casual comic guy.
And where's Gary tonight?
I know. It feels empty without him, doesn't it?
It does.
Talking about his favorite comic series from DC, which is Rima the Jungle Girl. And so now, Ryan, you had just completed your collection of Shanna. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, and actually Rima this year as well, too. So I did both. And I'm also going to say, even though you aren't, I'm going to crack open a beer tonight. It's going to be an A&W Ice Cream Sundae Root Beer, which I've never tried before.
All right, well, I will have a hand on my 911 to
thank you
in case it happens. Yeah, I decided not to live dive with a adult beverage, so
this is good.
I have wonderful cold water in my Luxinda Swirl personalized tumbler.
Nice. So to get back to answering your original question before I threw us off topic, I did Rima and Shanna. I completed both this year, and with Rima, who we featured on the Fanboys at a few weeks back, that had been a comic maybe about 5 years ago. I mean, I always had known about the comic book and and I knew her appearance on Super Friends cartoon, but about 5 years ago, I found some in a bin because they're pretty inexpensive issues, and I just thought, I'm just gonna pick it up and see what I think about it, and I liked it. Shanna, I had issue number 1 as a childhood collector, and that all became because of one cartoon appearance she made in the 80s on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. She was in a cartoon episode called 7 Little Superheroes.
Oh, okay.
And if you have Disney Plus, you can watch it on there. But I was like, oh, that's a cool character. So I picked up issue 1, which is, out of all the ones to get right away, that's the one you want because that's the expensive one now.
Yeah.
And I never really did anything else with it. I would always see Shanna issue 1 on the wall or at a comic shows or whatever, but you never see the rest of her issues.
Yeah.
Like never.
Yeah.
And then this year, I just kind of made a conscious effort and was able to find a few of them. There's only 5, so Rima didn't go much longer. So, and both of these books started in the same year. Shanna predated Rima by a few months, maybe about half a year.
Yeah.
But they ran around the same time. They both were bi-monthly books, meaning every 2 months that they were published.
Mm-hmm.
And a great question that I was asked today, as a matter of fact, is there a difference between Shanna the She-Devil and Sheena the Jungle Queen? Yes, there is a big difference between those two characters. So Sheena was created by Will Eisner back in 1938. And she was raised by wolves in the jungle. That gives her like this deep connection to nature and the animals. She's fierce and primal, and she's got, a big sense of justice and willingness to defend the jungle and its inhabitants. And her powers and abilities are more jungle survival skills, physical strength, and agility.
Yeah.
And her stories mostly feature battling poachers, villains, and other threats to the jungle and its inhabitants. But a lot of people, because the names are so easy, think that maybe it's the same character.
I have screwed them up. I have screwed that up.
Okay.
So, but I'm old. So what do I know?
Oh, you're not.
Social Security thinks I am. Well, shall we dive into talking about Shanna?
Oops.
But first,
I hit the wrong button.
Yeah. First, while you bring up I'm going to say hi, Chuck. How are you?
Hey, Chuck.
Thank you for joining us. We're glad you're here. We just decided to hop on and talk talk Jungle Books. So
Yeah.
what we're going to do is talk about in general about each. There are only 5 stories. We're not going to go in depth of all the stories, but to give you a gist of what are in these 5 books, and there really is kind of an arc story wise through this thing. And in my mind, a reason why this started to sink, and then got canceled after 5 issues. But
Yeah.
who knows? So, oh, and Luxinda, we were just talking about you.
We were.
So, oh, all right. So I'm going to click on this. So Ryan is going to run this a little bit so you guys can see the kind of art that is in these books. The art itself doesn't really change.
No.
And it's very different than the Rima art by,
Mhm.
and I think it's much more pedestrian,
Mhm.
I think is how I describe it. It gets the job done as opposed to the Rima books, which I think are beautiful pieces of art. So, so this is the first book, and it came out in 1972, and it was written by Carol Seuling, or Sealing, Seuling. And the book really reflects kind of the issues of the day in 1972: feminism, the ecology, violence, gun violence. And so there you get kind of the nice splash page of Rima. Oh my God, this is going to go on. I'm going to screw this up all night, just so you know. Shanna in the Jungle. And so basically our main heroine, but first, hello, Brydazzle.
Oh, hi.
That's a great name. So basically,
Oops, I turned us off.
The star of our show is Shanna O'Hara, and she was raised in Africa. Let me click into that so we can show the people. So she was raised in Africa by her father, who accidentally shoots her mother. And Shanna is then shipped off to the United States, where she grows up in New York, and she becomes a veterinarian. And she is rich off of her father's mineral mine shares or something. And she works at a zoo where all the big cats had one night been slaughtered, and save a couple of leopard cubs who she decides to return to Africa. Now, the creepy part is that there you can see there she is. It's kind of told in weird flashback, Ryan, right? It's yeah. So you get a lengthy section in the middle of the flashback, and there she is being woken up in her apartment, and hey, you got to get to the zoo. And she gets to the zoo, and there are all the dead animals. And she eventually finds the 2 little leopard cubs who are still alive, and she decides to, what we got to do? I got to take these back to Africa, and so that they could live there and not in the dangerous wilds of New York City. Now, the interesting thing about this is that the leopard suit that Shanna wears when she is in the jungle is actually the pelt of the mother of the cubs.
Yeah, I was like, when I saw that, I was like, wow.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That's a long way to go to have a logical reason to wear that kind of outfit. But apparently the theory is the cubs will adjust better if they have the scent of mom around.
Mm-hmm.
So, so eventually this book gets back to the kind of the A story, which is she's busy thwarting elephant poachers. And it kind of goes back and forth. It's bad guy, fight, fight. And, there you go. But so it's a good introduction to this character who takes no guff from anybody. And unlike the other jungle queen, Rima, Shanna actually talks. Um, she talks a lot, and not in a bad way. I mean, she is very verbal, and this doesn't have the same kind of, oh, I am one with the jungle and nature is within me. And you know what I mean? She doesn't that's not going on here. Kind of in my mind, her origin is more Batman. You know, she's rich, she's smart. She happens to be an Olympic caliber athlete. I believe gymnastics was her sport, but she decided to go into zoology instead. So she's kind of like, throughout the series, a jungle cop. You know what I mean? As opposed to just enjoying the jungle and things happen to her, or you know what I mean? I don't sense the same kind of, oh, nature is getting run over by the terrible white man who comes to that kind of thing.
So I found the original solicit for issue number 1, okay?
Okay.
And it is jungle adventure with a twist and an awesome origin that'll move and shake you, an instant smash.
Yeah, so they're not trying to be anything other than, it's very action oriented.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's basically how the thing starts. And there is a little bit of, and at the time, I think like in the letters column, Stan Lee had been talking about, you know, women's liberation is a thing. We at comic books, you know, we should be talking about the things that are out in the world. And so we do want to try and get in on the conversation. And the fact that women aren't writing comic books. This one came out, I think, the same time as The Cat did.
That makes sense,
was also written by a woman at Marvel Comics. And
incidentally, there was an omnibus that's now out of print, but Women of Marvel Volume 1 had, I believe, all of the Shanna and all of the Cat issues reprinted with other Women of Marvel in that collection. So there was an interesting pairing to put some of that together.
Okay. Check out my show, Sarima, Queen of the Jungle.
Nice.
Have you heard of that, Brian? I have not.
I haven't, but I will
we
need
shall.
to check it out. We shall. We shall rope to rope over.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I thought this was a great introductory. I thought this was a great origin story book.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Much different than Rima, where Rima was just a jungle girl that was born. The jungle is native to her. Mm-hmm. Where Shanna has made this active decision to go to the jungle and leave it behind. So they start to build upon this a little bit more and further when we get into issue number 2. And something that you notice that the 2 cubs that she takes with her are not they're pretty good supporting characters in themselves. I think is it Ina?
Ina and
Biri. So those are the 2 cubs she takes with her. And at one point, these cubs throughout all 5 issues freak out. They freak out anyone that's in contact with her. And she always says, if you don't harm me, they're not going to harm you. And at one point, someone says to her, are you sure that these cats aren't going to hurt me? And she said, 95% sure.
Right. Classic. Yeah, it's her version of a loaded gun, that she's walking around with. And so it's cool. And so issue 2 starts up. This is what that one looks like. And she, let's see here, I have some notes. She battles a bad guy who captures neighboring, this was gross, neighboring tribes and enslaves them. So that's, but at the same time, he's trying to steal a French rocket that's going to be launched from the jungle so that he can deliver heroin.
Yeah, that was so weird.
Like, wait, you want that so that it won't go into space, but it will fall someplace else because you've put heroin in it? Mm-hmm. It was a little head scratching to me, but then, you know, whatever. So, but you mentioned the leopards. In this issue, Shanna lets the leopards kill a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually kills, I think, another big cat or cats. But she does save the day. And so this one, as I was reading this one, Ryan, I was like, oh, this feels like a Marvel comic book or a
Mm-hmm.
Marvel movie.
Yep.
You know, it's like kick, fight, gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. So
we also in that issue get the introduction to Jakuna Singh, who is an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. that will make some appearances. But his first appearance comes up in that issue. And he is like based out very deep in the jungle, you know, somewhere around Shanna's area. So
yeah, as a non-Marvel person, I was like, oh, S.H.I.E.L.D. I know that from the movie.
S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah, Nick Fury.
Oh, and it makes perfect sense, you know, because if this is going to be a going concern, you know, you need someone to help send you on an adventure, right? Yeah. Here's a problem. Would you please help me solve it? Off you go. And she also has a quasi boyfriend in this thing.
Yeah, but I don't remember them explaining kind of where he came from.
It just wandered through, apparently.
Yeah. One thing that I noticed about all the issues in this series, there isn't a lot of setup for things. I always felt like even when you start on page 1, that you've missed like 2 or 3 pages.
Yeah.
Because it feels like she's in the process of beginning to do something, and you just got to figure out from reading forward what's going on. There's like not a lot of setup on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the first few issues are a fun read. I wouldn't say they're the cleanest read. You know what I mean? So maybe Carol Suling, you know, wrote for some other. I couldn't find anything about her on the internets, so I don't know what happened to her. But comic books may not have been her primary business. Hello, Ken. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
So, anything else to say about the second issue? That Ina and Beery.
Ina and Beery, yeah. And the boyfriend is Patrick McShane.
Yeah, who has? They try to write in a Irish little bit of brogue there or something. Yep. It's like, okay. And he's got the hots for Shanna the worst way, and she's like, yeah, okay. She's not mean to him, but she's just pretty obviously disinterested.
Yeah.
So then you get to issue number 3, and this was a fun. These covers are all fun, I gotta say.
Yeah, for sure.
I think her trade dress is really arresting. You know what I mean? They did a great job with that. Yeah. So this story, and I have scribbled down here, is mostly forgettable. Seems to be a history lesson about ancient tribes. I have to tell you, I kind of was like, yeah, flip, flip, flip. Bad guy dies, and that's great. What I really wanted, though, I think this issue is important because the letters to the editor first appear here.
Okay.
And so you get the first reader reaction, or what they decide to share with you about their experiment in talking about the women's movement. And the most part, people are pretty positive about the character and the story and all that kind of stuff. And the editor actually does a good job of, at some point in one of these letters to the editor, somebody says, well, she's fine. Just do not start talking about this women's lib stuff. And the editor is like, our goal is to just show, not to tell. And I thought they did a pretty good job, you know.
Yeah.
And so
the only thing about that issue that I really have to add, because it is a pretty overall forgettable issue, but this is the issue where she's communicating, trying to hire some workers to come in, and I at first thought she just wanted a house built. We would later find out it's like a massive tree house is what she wants. and she can't get anyone to come that far into the jungle. So she's pretty secluded where she's at. And she's offering double and even triple, just to get workers in here to do that. And I just kept thinking to myself, where is your post office? How are you getting these letters to these people? If you are that far in,
it must take months. Didn't like Frank Lloyd Wright get a shout out?
Yeah. She says Frank Lloyd Wright's design would be beautiful here or something like that. And I'm like, okay.
What? This is why Bronze Age comics are just batty. Totally batty.
Yeah.
And then we're zeroing in on the first of, so the series ends with a two-parter. And this number 4 is the look out, don't look now, leopard lady, but here comes the man called Mandrill.
Not to be confused with a blonde who had 2 sisters. That was Mandrell. So don't confuse the two. Nothing.
What was their song? They had a song.
Barbara's song was "I Was Country When Country Was Cool."
Was cool, yeah. And their TV show was
classic, yeah.
God, the hair, all that hair.
But I love that cover, by the way. That's one of my favorite, if not maybe my favorite cover out of this 5-issue series is this one, because there's some action going on. I don't know. There's a lot going on.
Yeah,
and
you got the nifty insert. Yeah. And I think what's interesting and fun is like, okay, so she's riding this rhinoceros, has nothing. It happens in the beginning of the story. Like you said, it kind of starts in the middle of her trying to capture this runaway rhinoceros, which has nothing to do with the main gist of the story.
Right.
It's like, well, okay. And the other thing that I noted was that Carol Suling is now listed as a plotter, with Steve Gerber as the scripter. So, do you have any thoughts on what that actually means, or?
I don't. And since we started this stream, I went to look to see what Carol's other comic book writing credits are.
Yeah.
I found a photo of her, probably from that time period, actually.
Okay.
That's all she did comic book wise.
Yeah.
That was it.
Okay. Well,
so
I'm sure she had a happy life.
Yes.
So this one is nice because it does introduce this character Mandrill, and also a subplot about Shanna's father. Like, where is this dude? And is she going to find him? And what is the status of their relationship? And what has he been doing all these years in the jungle while she was being in bed?
There's the thought that he is part of a group of people that have been kidnapped.
Yeah.
So she's like, I have to save him, even though I haven't seen him in, all these years.
Yeah. And this is the issue where a letter to the editor says, "Do not, for God's sakes, don't let her degenerate into some women's lubber." And the editor says this is an attempt to embody the movement, not to preach about it. So I'm not sure I have that much to say about that.
Yeah, I have a picture of Carol if you want to see her.
Sure.
Yeah, just go ahead and share the screen.
Oh my God, she's like 12 years old. Is she?
It's Daphne.
Do you think she was like a secretary or something?
I don't know, but that is a picture of her, and that kind of looks like from that time,
What do you bet? They were just like, hey, we need some stories about girls. Any girl in the office have any ideas?
Yeah.
So then part 2 is the 5th and final book. And this is where you meet Mandrill's girl band.
Okay.
Necra.
Yeah.
And this is written by Steve Gerber. He's the sole writer. And this is where I think Steve has rid himself of these pesky issues relating to women. And he's just like, can I just write what I want? Thank you very much. So the story, I am going to pull this out, starts with Shanna and her not really boyfriend having arm wrestling. Like, really? They are? And she ends up beating him and saying to him, I hope something about hope your delicate masculine ego isn't damaged beyond repair. Okay, the character in the first 4 issues never would have said that.
No.
Ever. So Steve is not, he's, he joins a long list of comic book writers in the 70s who are taking the back of their hands to the women's movement and anything related to that. And as evidenced by this Necra character just being insane and with a band of women who, again, the comic book writer guys are like, okay, why is feminism bad? It gets women together amongst themselves and brainwashes them and turns them violent is in essence how these stories go. And this one is no different. Kill, 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 kill. And the irony is that at some point they're, behold, oh, my sisters, let this straw man symbolize those we hate. Let it be all men, all whom we shall rip asunder. A straw man, I mean, a little on the nose there, Steve. So,
so keep that issue out for a second, because I want to say 2 things about this issue. This one actually really takes a huge comic book turn. This goes from what it was to, I'm writing a comic book now. I'm writing a Marvel comic book now.
Yeah.
Definitely can feel it. But there is a cameo in there I was hoping you could show that we could announce. That who does Shanna talk to that's big in the Marvel universe, the Main Street Marvel universe?
I know this one.
Show that one. So, because I think people would be surprised at who makes a cameo in here from the main Marvel universe.
I'll find it.
Okay. I want to say it's maybe 4 or 5 pages in.
Okay. I'm going the wrong way here. Oh, yes. Here he is. It's Charles Xavier.
Yes.
From the X-Men.
X-Men. So did you not?
Yes, I did see that. I recognize that.
Didn't you get the feeling? Cool. Didn't you get the feeling that had this series gone on, the X-Men would have guested with Shanna somewhere in like the next 3 or 4 issues?
Right.
I absolutely got that feeling because it had been established that Charles and Shanna knew each other.
Yes.
And had met at a
smart person's convention.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so, and you could see where the opportunities were with S.H.I.E.L.D. The Singe guy makes another appearance, and you've got the X-Men, and you've got the high-tech stuff in the jungle, and you could see that there were opportunities, but for some reason, obviously sales weren't happening. And
because this book really doesn't wrap up, like the question of what happened to her father, was he captured, or it's not answered. It's just left alone.
Yeah. At least in this one, she doesn't kill Necra.
She doesn't.
Which I thought, I'm like, which was an interesting. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. Some of the letters to the editor in the earlier issue took issue with the fact that she let her lions kill somebody and that she killed people or somebody or a big cat. It's like, whoa.
But it was in self-defense too.
It was in self-defense.
And she actually made a statement about, I don't, she doesn't say I don't condone this, but she says, she implies that message. You know, like it's, I don't like killing anything that's living unless I have to, you know, and it was him or me type scenario.
Yeah. So again, the letters to the editor, were positive. People were enjoying this.
Hmm.
But in fact, I will read you. Unfortunately, we have to report that it's going to be even fewer than. Oh, because people are saying, well, how about monthly? How about monthly? And he's like, well, it's going to be even fewer than 6, since this issue marks the last of Shanna's own magazine. In an effort to get some new projects started and possibly to revive a few old ones, we've decided to make some changes. And one of those involves finding another spot for our Jungle Woman's adventures. So stay tuned. So, uh,
So I can tell you where she went after this.
okay.
So this wrapped in like August of 73. She's not seen again until January of 74. So she had a few months off. Then she's in, I call him Kazar. Some people call him Kazar.
Okay.
But we're going to say Kazar. Kazar Volume 1, Issue 1, and Issue 2. She makes appearances there in 74. And then she crosses over into Daredevil's comic book. And this is during an era that I'm actually collecting right now. Yeah. And it was when Daredevil had Black Widow as a guest star, permanent guest star, eventual co-headliner. And she makes 6 appearances in Daredevil, plus an appearance in a Marvel 2-in-1 with The Thing teaming up with Daredevil and Black Widow. So that's where we find her pretty much all throughout 1974 and into the early part of 75.
Huh.
Then there's a Savage Tale, 3 issues of Savage Tales from 71 that she appears in. Then she is gone for a while. And Rampaging Hulk, the B story of 1977's Rampaging Hulk, issue number 9. And then that was 1978. And then we don't see her till 1981, where she's in Kazar the Savage. And that's the series, and she's in almost every issue of that. But that's the series that she eventually goes on and marries him.
Okay.
In the mid-80s. So.
That poor game warden, Patrick.
Yeah, whatever happened to Patrick?
What happened to Patrick?
Yeah. Hey, Shabab, you know who's Irish and stays out all night?
No.
Patio Furniture.
Thank you.
Just proving it's me.
Yeah, I was going to say. It's like, yep, that's Ryan.
It's not AI.
Well, the thing that I think is interesting about this character, and again, it's just such a shame. She's really similar to Wonder Woman in that her physicality is, you know what I mean? She just takes it to these guys.
Yeah, she does.
All the time. And so I don't know if that just wasn't a selling point for the comic book buying public at the time, or really maybe, would it have kept going, or did they just not want to write it anymore because, girls, I don't care.
Do you also think that DC launched Rima because of Shanna?
Well, it doesn't feel that way to me, because Rima is kind of the Classics Illustrated version, the first 4 issues of a well-known novel. Now, maybe if they did, good on DC, because they decided, well, let's find some source material that has some meat on the bones and has a point of view about what it means to be in the jungle, what it means to be a white person in a South American jungle. This is just, let's have an action character who happens to be rich and is a girl and has 2 cubs that and she wears their mother's fur.
Although Rima wears Spider's web dress.
Well, yeah, but I don't think she's killing.
No.
Anyway.
Well, I want to say for those that didn't see the Fanboys Live, the last issue of Rima, there is this kid that is setting the forest on fire, and he's like this destructive. It's called the Imp. The story's called the Imp, right. And in the long run, he's hurting all these animals, and Rima lets the alligators eat them.
Yeah.
And they say, Rima, you have to help him, and she said, nope.
No,
and the story's over.
Yeah. And so's the book.
Yes.
So's the book. So yeah, you kind of wonder, do writers, they launch something and then like, oh, I just can't make it to work the way I wanted it to work.
Mhm.
And um, so
I think being bi-monthly doesn't do you any favors.
totally. I have hard enough time, keeping up with things on a monthly basis.
Mhm.
Um, and
But you go to that spinner rack, and if it's not there all the time
right.
and it certainly had some good covers,
Hmm.
but
Yeah. So I'm sad to see that she just didn't come back in any kind of stronger form, so to
mhm.
speak. Like Rose and Thorn did. She
Yeah.
made that character was kind of a secondary character. Um, and, keeping her in copyright, they gave her more, they played with her a little more
Mhm.
about what's her age, what's the background, what's the psychological issues going on, that kind of thing. Um, it's too bad. Um, I don't know. Maybe Shanna the She-Vet would have been even she might have been more interesting in New York. I don't know.
So I've only read a few of these comic books, and only have a few of the Daredevil ones where she comes back in, in 74. I do remember like her like with the big hat on and the coat, dressed to the nines,
Yeah.
carrying the big cats with her on leashes, and people are like freaked out, like she's walking into the hotel like she owns it,
Right.
and she's got these cats, and like people knew who she was, like the other characters are like, that's
Hmm.
Shanna O'Hara, everyone
Yeah.
like knew who she was. I don't really remember what her purpose was. I don't, from the limited amount of reading I've done from that, I don't remember her being like she was in the beginning of her series. I remember her more being like how she was in issue 5.
Yeah. Hmm.
What could have
Again,
been?
what could have been? What could have been? Well,
Yeah.
she's easy to collect because her own book is only 5.
Yeah.
And
First issue is going to cost you the most.
yeah, and even that's not going to break a bank,
No.
So, but to me, what I would keep, see, because I'm crazy, I would just keep, if I had, I mean, I'd keep all 5 of them, but to me, 1 and 5 are, it's like the most important books, like
Yeah.
that tell her story. It's like,
Yeah. 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 How we
So
started, how we ended.
how we ended, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
A for effort. I give Stan Lee credit for, uh, I think, making a good faith effort
Hmm.
with Shanna and the cat, to address, the women's movement, because it was such a profound social um, movement at the time. You couldn't escape it, and to not talk about it in some way would just be ridiculous. Um, and I should mention, talking about the women's movement, that Gary B and also Ryan convinced me that what I need to do is catch up on
Oh, yeah.
Captain Marvel, and which I'm doing. I bought the omnibus and reading through it, and that too talks. It really is inspired by the women's movement and talks about that as well.
For those
So
that don't know, that omnibus, can be very deceived by the cover, because what you're seeing on the cover is not what's really what you're getting on the inside. It is the Carol Danvers Ms. Marvel Volume 1 series in its entirety, plus
yeah.
some.
So that's why I love, I'm glad we redug into this, because my women's lib and comic books part of my collection, needs to
Mhm.
have this stuff. And so I enjoy it, and I think the covers are great. And but
So
it's
who's better, Rima or Shanna?
it really depends on your I prefer the character of Shanna,
Hmm.
um, because she's just a little more gung ho, and she does talk, and she talks back, and she's funny. And I'm 95% sure these animals
Yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah. She's
I
got a
mean, that's
personality.
funny. She has a
Yeah, yeah.
personality. Rima's books, those comic books, are beautiful as art form. The
Hmm.
art in that, Nestor Redondo's art, is just in another realm, it's so good. So I think it depends on what I'm not a huge, jungle adventure person
Mhm.
to begin with. So I'd stick with Shanna just because I like the character a little more, and I like it when my redheaded sassy women characters talk back.
Yeah, yeah.
But really, Rima has its charms as well. So, but it's like apples oranges to me, I think.
Sure.
How about you?
Well,
What do you think?
well, initially I thought that Rima was going to be my answer. But after spending this time with Shanna, I think it's Shanna, and maybe I don't know. One thing that I do want to say, as opposed to what we've just shown tonight, either in sharing the screen or the books that you were holding up, when you read if you read Shanna on the Marvel app, all of that stuff is cleaned and colored up, and it is so beautiful with the coloring and how it leaps off your page. But when you read it digitally on the Marvel app, it's like
Okay.
brand spanking new. I
Okay.
mean, it is so like remastered so nicely.
Oh, neat. Okay.
So that's cool. One thing that both books have in common is, and we mentioned this during Rima, but we haven't mentioned it until now, here talking about Shanna, there's not as many panels as I think a typical comic book had on a page in
Hmm.
that time. So they're definitely fast reads.
Yeah.
Both series are. But to get back to the original question, I think Shanna by a little bit, but it does kind of depend on your mood too.
Hmm.
Rima, I think, was the bigger character out of the two, just because she had a history before DC got a hold of her.
Right.
She only made 3 appearances in the Super Friends cartoons. Granted, Shanna had 1 animated appearance in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, but Rima was a little bit of the bigger two, I think.
Yeah.
But I like Shanna maybe a little bit better.
Yeah. It's and I seem to have misplaced it. I picked up a Marvel reprint of just jungle things, and there was a
Yeah.
jungle lady story in there,
Mm-hmm.
and it was more Rima. Like
Oh, was
she's
it?
not
Okay.
she's nonverbal, and she talks to animals, and
Mm-hmm.
she has mastered the scary jungle where the white hunters are like,
Yeah.
let them all die. I don't know. So
Another appearance I should mention too, and I didn't mention this during the appearance section because this is not considered canon in Marvel. But there was, do you remember a TV show called? It was a kids' TV show called The Electric Company.
yes.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
so the Electric Company had Spider-Man series, little skits in each episode.
Okay.
And they spun that off to Spidey Super Stories. The Electric Company presents Spidey Super Stories comic books. So all of the stuff that happens in there isn't considered Marvel canon, but there is an issue with Spider-Man and Shanna teaming up together. I don't have that one yet in my collection. And these are like for young readers.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
these are geared, and I don't mean, well, sometimes the stories are a little silly, but I mean like it's for someone that has just started to learn to read. So it's not complicated words.
Got
They're
it.
not
Okay.
heavy word balloons.
Yeah.
They're
yeah.
pretty simple.
This is reading. It's Electric Company. Reading is fundamental. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The Children's Television Workshop would have approved.
Yeah.
So, but that does exist out there too. And I'll probably get that at some point just to have it in the collection.
In the collection. Yeah. Well, there aren't that many Bronze Age babes. Well, actually, there are a lot of Bronze Age babes. My disappointment is that most of them seem to come and go very quickly. And it's kind of a bummer.
My biggest disappointment, and granted, I mean, I read this women's liberation era as back issues.
Yeah.
So, but my biggest disappointment was that they never did, because back then they didn't do limited series or small stuff like that. But the Lady Liberators spun off from the Avengers.
Yeah.
I would have loved a 3-issue mini or a story with them brought back together.
Oh my God, that issue.
That's something.
Is that Roy Thomas?
Yeah, it's Roy Thomas. So,
and he edited these books.
Yes, he did.
If that tells you anything. So it's, I think these writers and editors have their imprimatur precedes them on a lot of this stuff. Like, I don't want Robert Kandiger writing about the women's movement, because he hates it. And I think Roy Thomas could care less about it. So why would he give any of his creative power to stories about that? You know what I mean? So, but all right, we did. Anything else to add about the jungle, the mighty jungle?
No, but it was fun going down
I know.
the jungle rabbit hole, and I thank you for asking me.
Yeah,
for the show
it felt like since Rima was done, it's like let's make sure we have a complete.
Yeah. Let's do the flip side of the coin.
Yeah. So tell me what's coming up on your channel.
Oh my gosh, a lot of stuff is going on my channel. So I'll tell you what's currently on the channel and then what's coming. So currently on the channel right now is my back issue of the week, which is on Red Sonja. So I don't know if you know this or not, Shabab. But tonight's Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Tonight only, Red Sonja's new movie is in theaters for one night only, and it's right now. So
you gotta go.
They're really, after all these years after the Brigitte Nielsen movie, there is a new Red Sonja movie. It's out in theaters tonight only. It will be on some streaming platform within about 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
So that's why the back issue of the week is currently on Red Sonja, just to tie in with what's going on with that character. Yeah. But I'll say something in revisiting that comic book for the back issue of the week. That was pretty darn good. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. I mean, it had progressed a lot since the chainmail outfit era of the 70s, because this is a 1983 comic book, but check it out if you haven't already.
Okay.
And then my current comic book editions video that's on my channel, it's episode 250, so it's an anniversary celebration, which is, yay, I made it to 250.
250
videos of comic book editions.
Rock and roll.
And I thought, well, the best way to celebrate is with friends. And it has been raining AOKs at my house. So in the video that's currently on my channel, I share 2 of those AOKs. One is from Silver-Haired Bronze Age Babe.
I made it to the post office.
You did.
To send a hermetically sealed box. The magic lasso.
You did, and it arrived, and that was awesome. And in the same video, I have an AOK from a new channel that if you're not subscribed to, I hope you will. It's Kal-El Comics. So,
if I may give another, also a shout out to Kal-El. He just started this channel.
Yeah.
He's got a drool-worthy Superman and related collection.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of Golden Age stuff, a lot of early Silver Age things.
Mm-hmm. He shows stuff that you don't see a lot of people showing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to getting to know him better.
Me too.
And, yeah.
And wait till you see the video he dropped today. It is something.
Okay.
So, it's something. So an AOK from those 2 folks are on my current comic book editions 250 video that's on my channel. What's coming up on the channel? Well, the greatest DC comic show on YouTube is Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. That is coming up, as you can always find Sunday nights, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Central on my channel. Now, Silver-Haired Bronze Age Babe, we get her at least once a month. Sometimes we talk her into more than once a month, but at least once a month we get her.
Right.
This upcoming weekend, we are doing Birds of Prey, and our special guests will be JP Budget Collecting and John's Comics with Friends.
JP Budget Collecting. That's
JP Budget Collecting. He doesn't even have comics in his title. JP Budget Collecting.
JP Budget Collecting. Awesome.
So he's a big Nightwing fan and a big Barbara Gordon fan, and so it's awesome to have him on. So well, I should say last week's show we had John's Comics with Friends and Old Wolf 65, and we did Dead Man.
Oh, I caught that on the rewind.
Uh-huh.
I loved it. And
great.
I also want to meet Old Wolf.
His name's Tony.
He had said some kind things about me, and I was like, I love you too, because I'm a huge Dead Man fan.
Yeah, of
And
course, Neil Adams is so
Neil
associated
Adams,
with that
super associated with him,
character.
but the character of Boston Brand is such a smart ass,
Hmm.
which was really unusual for DC. They didn't really have smart asses at that time,
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, and then next week, Comic Book Editions 251 is an AOK from John's Comics with Friends. John picked me up something that was an SDCC exclusive for this year. So I've got that to share. And I think you will like it, Shabab. I think that you think it's a cool item.
Okay.
So, and then still coming up in the future is more AOKs coming, including one from Mr. Gretzky 9966. So it's just been raining AOKs at this house.
Say you were the post office in your town. It's like, oh God,
him again.
How many comic books does this guy need?
Yeah. So all of that and more coming up on the channel. I'm on the road to 1,000. I am like 46 away. So it's like within spitting distance.
Yeah. It's gonna happen. I think by the end of this year you're gonna make it.
That's my goal. Try to get it by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So
can we say hello to a new friend?
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. How you doing? I'm Wesley. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Hi, how are
Thank you so much for stopping by. Please sub us up.
Yes. And also, like I said, you'll get both of us and more at least 1 week a month on Fanboys Live in the Retro Review, which is Sunday nights on my channel. Or you can watch it on the Rewind. Some good ones to watch in the Rewind is the first issue special. That's a good one. What are some more of your favorites?
Oh God, basically anytime I'm on, we misbehave, and
the crypto one we did this year.
The
crypto one's really good.
That's right. Find first issue special and find the one with crypto the dog. In fact, you'll see this cover, I think, on the thumbnail.
Yes,
that's so look for that one, because we had fun.
Yeah, did have fun on those.
We had fun on those. So yeah, that'll give you a sense
of what you're in
Wesley,
for.
Whether you want to
if you want to stick around or not. So
no harm, no foul. If you're like, these jokers, are you kidding me? Forget it.
Yeah.
So
but I know I rambled a lot about what's coming up, but thank you all. Thank you for allowing me this time to come on and spend more time with you. You know, but I always enjoy that too. And we had a great chat and talking about a very underrated comic book.
Yeah, it is. And she's it's a worthy inclusion into any collection, I think.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with you.
So yeah. So listen, everybody, thank you so much for joining our little live dive here. We appreciate everyone in the chat, everyone who's watching it on the rerun. Thank you very much. Cheers to A&W, whatever that sugary confection he is drinking.
Ice cream sundae.
Oh God.
I liked it.
Assuming he survives that sugar buzz, he'll see you again on Sunday night, and I will see you on a Fanboys at some point. And I'm going to do a video this weekend, probably dropping I got some Silver Age action books.
Oh, nice.
That I'm really excited to show off. I was hunting for Lois Lane on the cover, and I found some that I was like, oh my God, I have to. Some I've coveted for a bit, so I'll be doing that. So listen, everybody, thanks again, and we will see you shortly.
Bye.
Bye.